you think you know it all, then you haven't experienced med school. Being a med student humbles you in ways you cannot imagine, not just in textbook, but in real life scenarios. So in this video, we will talk about what every medical student learns the hard way. Premed student walks in full of dreams, not long until life teaches them the harsh reality. So in this video, we will talk about things that nobody tells you in med school, that you only learn not by sharing but living through them. Lesson number 1. Time is never enough. You think you know what busy feels like until you've entered medical school. No matter how much you plan, no matter how you schedule every subject, it feels like it's still not enough. You'll read one chapter and realize there are a whole bunch more 5 chapters to read on. And then you pull an all-nighter and wake up feeling like you've learned none or nothing, or if you've learned just a little bit of thing and unsure if you understand a single thing, right? The hardest part is accepting that you cannot master everything at a single day. That's why successful med students learn to prioritize what truly matters. They focus on things that are present or are currently being studied in the moment, instead of chasing the impossible idea of finishing it all only within this hour, only within this day. Because the sooner you accept this, the more strategic you become and the less guilt you'll carry, because you're breaking things down into smaller pieces so that you can understand the whole bigger picture. Right? Lesson number 2. Grades don't equal competence. Medical school is full of brilliant people. Some ace every exam, others struggle just to pass, but here's the truth. Grades don't always predict who becomes the better doctor. You can memorize every pathway in biochemistry, but that doesn't guarantee you'll know how to sit with a patient who's scared and vulnerable. Because competence isn't just about numbers on a test, it's about how you translate knowledge into care. And truth be told, that students who stumble sometimes end up being the most compassionate and resourceful doctors. Lesson number 3, you can't do it alone. In the beginning, many of us think we can handle med school all by ourselves, late night studying, grinding alone, but eventually, every student learns the hard way that medicine is not a solo journey. I will share with you an example that my former mentor told me when I was in first year med school. She told me that when you become a medical student, learn to be friendly because it will help you pass every exam. I thought like was that it was just a joke or maybe a cliche thing that many professors told their student. Then from that point on, I just observed that some, not all students, are just sharing trances, simplexes to some of their friends, but not to everyone. And so these people are able to pass. I'm not telling this to bring a bad side of med school, but to give what's the reality behind it. And if you want someone to survive med school because you're not that friendly type, but you need it really to survive, because some exams, some tests, some trances, some notes are only accessible to some group of friends. So if you're that average student that really just want to pass this, learn to be friendly. Okay? It's not about being the most likable person in the whole classroom, but think of yourself as someone who wants to pass this exam, someone who wants to graduate on time, and someone who wants to pursue his or her dream. Keep that in mind. Just a tip for some student who's still lost on their journey. Because in reality, you will need classmates to quiz you, friends to vent with, especially if you're feeling down. You need that for your mental health. And mentors to guide you. And the people you study will often become your lifeline to help you survive your years in med school. And if you isolate yourself, burnout will catch you faster. Because in medicine, teamwork isn't just for the hospital, it starts in the classroom. Lesson number 4, your mental health matters more than you think. And one of the cruelest lessons med school will ever taught you is that you must push yourself past the limit more than you can. But it doesn't guarantee you'll become a successful doctor. It breaks you. Burnout is real, anxiety is real, and depression is common among medical students. Because everything feels heavy, everything is very competitive, everything must be according to plan. The pressure is so strong that many students dive into these kind of feelings. Yet, for years, many of us ignore the warning signs. We keep telling ourselves, sleep is for the weak. Just one more push until suddenly your body and your mind crashes. And medical school doesn't reward martyrs. The truth is, taking care of your mental health is not a weakness, it's survival skill. Imagine, how can you focus on a specific topic if you're not feeling well? Because your mind is clouded with all these thoughts. So how can you insert an additional information if it's already occupied with the things going on around you? Right? So always prioritize yourself. This is the last lesson that I will share with you. Lesson number 5. Perfection isn't possible in med school. And this may be the hardest lesson of all. Because you will make mistakes, you will miss answers, you will never be perfect. Because you will have days wherein you feel like, do I belong here? And the more you fight this truth, the more pressure it will put on yourself. Because real growth in med school happens when you allow yourself to be human, to admit that you don't know, and to ask for help, and to keep learning anyway, despite facing those adversities in life. Because medicine isn't about being a flawless doctor, which is what social media tells you. That this is the fancy life med school, the perfect life med student, which is very different and far from reality. Because the truth is, med school is about resilience, compassionate, and for those caring ones. So what do medical students learn the hard way? That time is short, grades aren't everything, you can't survive alone, and mental health matters. And lastly, perfection is impossible. These lessons don't make the journey easier, but they make you wiser, stronger, and more prepared for the doctor you are becoming. And in the end, that's what truly matters. So if this video resonates with you, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe so that I can keep creating stories about the hidden truths of medical school. Bye!